What's up, guys? Welcome back to Anita Live. Today we have a special guest named Chris. This is my boyfriend, and today's topic, we get a little personal and talk about our exes.
So in this cup, we have 5 questions that we have to answer truthfully. So let's go ahead and get down to the nitty gritty.
Okay, first question. Which ex was the craziest?
I want to say it was my first relationship in high school, my freshman year. But at the same time, even though she was crazy, I was crazy too. So,
Like what was an example you can give? Like what was crazy?
I guess I don't know, just there's some personal things that had gone on and I don't want to say any names or anything, but just she ended up dating somebody that was in my clique at the time after we had broken up, and then at the same time it was just like constant, I guess, like toxic relationship. We were breaking up on and off. She cheated a couple times, and it was like my first relationship, so I didn't really know how to handle things. I didn't really know what to do, and I'm not gonna lie, I kind of went a little off the deep end, but I definitely learned from it. So what about you?
My craziest ex, I think it would be my sophomore year. The person I was dating, he was just the craziest because like to get me jealous. One time I remember he made up a girl, and he showed me this text of this girl like texting him and stuff, and to get me jealous. So obviously I was pretty jealous, and he made it seem like they were like just friends and stuff. And then in the end I found out that girl was him. He had his buddy like texting like as this girl, and then I found out from one of his friends that told me that it was him doing that all along just to get me jealous. So that to me was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like,
That's
for
a
you
fucking
to be
weird
doing
dude.
that to get me jealous, I think that's pretty crazy. And there's other things that like were among a little crazy, but we're just gonna leave it at that. And I feel like that was one of like the craziest relationships that I had.
Small dick energy right there, guys.
Next question.
Alright. Which ex taught you the most?
I would have to say my last relationship was the one that taught me the most. We were on and off for about 4 years, and I think 4 years is a long time.
Yeah.
So that relationship definitely taught me, like there's the good and the bad, obviously. That one taught me to like value myself more. I felt like at one point I was giving too much into that relationship and I wasn't getting enough, but because I thought like that I loved him, I had to like not give myself the respect that I needed.
Right.
And also it taught me not to be a jealous, controlling girlfriend, because there was a one point, like I said, the good and bad, like it was also me. I was very like possessive and like jealous of the people he would be texting. And I mean, there was some reason behind that, but also it made me into this person that I did not want to become. So he also taught me like to trust more, even though there was some shadiness going on.
Yeah, that's
But also like in my head it taught me if a person wants to be faithful to you and like just be about you, they're going to do it, whether they give you reason or not. And yeah, I learned a lot of good things, good and bad, that I just see better now because I'm in a position where I know how to value myself, respect myself, and also respect my partner and not being this controlling, crazy girlfriend.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. I guess I would have to say the same thing. My last ex probably was the one who taught me the most. And I guess it was like 2 ways that we could go about it. Like, really opened my eyes as to what I wanted in a relationship, and like if I was happy or not, right? Just a little background is, so both her and my parent, my mom, her dad, they passed away around the same time. So we got into a relationship kind of, I guess for the wrong reason, right? We
Relatable.
Yeah, relatable reason, but for the wrong reason. Like we were there for each other. We were able to comfort each other in some way, and yeah, so it just kind of like took off that way. But then as the relationship continued to progress, right, it was more of one of those things where it was just things started not to line up. The things that we wanted to do, our hobbies, they weren't all similar. They weren't lining up, and it got to the point where sometimes it would, I guess, conflict with each other's interests. And so yeah, like I said, it just taught me a lot. And then at the same time, like just the things that we had both gone through with each other, it definitely like put a lot of stress on both of us. And at the time when we broke up, it was definitely the right move. And I mean, I hope the best for the person, and I'm sure she probably hopes the best for me. And
I feel like our last relationships too did teach us, and now, I mean, I don't want to say it's sad to say, but like she made you kind of into a better boyfriend now that you are. And
without a doubt,
like she had to go through some things, and unfortunately, like I feel like everybody like kind of like teaches you that lesson that it is that you either learn from it and you become this better person, or you keep being that person that doesn't give their partner what their needs. But I feel like in our last relationships, both of our like ex-partners taught us like pretty good values into now that we bring into this relationship, and that's why our relationship is like pretty freaking good.
Yeah. And you know, just to add on that, you know, I guess if you go like on social media, like Twitter or anything like that, there's a lot of bad harp, like around or bad hype harp. I don't know what it is. I guess like negative connotation, right, to like a relationship, learning from another relationship, and they're always like, oh well, yeah, you taught that guy, and now he's gonna be in a better relationship and treat the girl the way that you wanted to be treated. I'm like, yeah, like I get. There's that sort of like spite to the past
because and then I get that because I, like we said, we both were kind of similar with our partners, how they like you were with her because it was benefiting you, and like I felt like that's how it kind of was with my ex-partner. It doesn't mean that you didn't love her, because I feel like you did love her, and just how I felt like my ex-partner did love me, but he didn't love me enough to give me the things that I needed to fulfill in our relationship.
Exactly, yeah. And I feel like everything's trial and error, right? So you find out if this is the right person for you, and then what you learn from your past relationship can lead to be better in your next relationship. And I'm not talking about like the toxic thing where like, oh, I'm hung up on my ex, or because my ex did this and yada yada yada. Now you gotta look at the positive things that made you grow to be the better person and the best that you can be.
I agree. So shout out to our last relationship. That's why we're solid as fuck.
That's kind of crappy to say.
I know. Next one. Which ex broke your heart?
Probably be my last high school relationship. We dated for a while. We dated, I think, like a couple of years, and it was just the hardest because that person was like really involved with my life, and that was like right around the time that my mom had discovered that she got sick. Things were just like kind of going downhill for a little bit for the family. I wasn't going to go to school. It got kind of
hard.
Exactly, it got hectic. So I think that was like the hardest heartbreak. Also, I would say that was probably like my real, my real first true love. And then yeah, that was basically it.
It was in high school?
Yeah.
But what, like, explain a little more to the people. Like, why did you, like, why did that person break your heart? Like, what was the reasoning? Like,
it wasn't that. It's tough to say because it wasn't that she necessarily broke my heart. It was just like the fact that how our relationship ended. It was mutual, and I think that was like the most heartbreaking thing about it. It was more just the fact that something had, like the time had come and it had gone. You know what I mean? And it's difficult to change, right? So that's basically what I'd say. I wouldn't really say anyone really.
Just saying, like it was like a good relationship, and then you just knew that you guys were going in different directions, so it wasn't going to last.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. For me, which ex broke my heart? I would have to say again, my last relationship. I've told him this many times. We talked about it when he first met me, like asking the questions about each other. Was my last recent ex. Again, I was with him for 4 years, and like you said, he was very involved in my life. I was very involved in his life. Like, I would literally be over at his house all the time, and his family loved me, and I loved his family, you know, and so it was something really hard for me to let go of. And just because like you said, I knew that time was coming where I wasn't getting enough for myself out of the relationship, that I knew if I stayed, it was going to continue to be like that. So I had to be the one to remove myself from that situation and walk away. And I felt like it was so hard because I was the one that was, in the end, putting in so much effort into that relationship, that I knew that if I didn't walk away, I was going to continue to feel like I was the only one that was giving more into that relationship, you know?
Yeah.
And I've had other breakups that like hurt, but this one like hurt the most because I just knew that this was the end. Like, I don't know if you ever had realizations of like, you break up with somebody and then you're like, no, I still feel like there might be something. Like, no, I walked out of that door and like, I literally told them like, I hope you find the happiness that you need. I walked out and like, I knew it, that was it.
Exactly.
And I felt completely crushed, but then here we are 2 years and a half later. And it just had to happen, but yeah, that was the one that broke my heart.
Yeah, I could definitely understand that.
But I definitely appreciate it breaking my heart because now we're here. Okay, next question. How many questions is that? That is our third question. We only have 2 more.
Are you still friends with your exes? Or with any of them, at least?
Not really. I'm not really friends with like any of my other exes. I would say one ex, but we dated in 7th grade.
Yeah.
And then we dated in 7th grade, and then we went into high school, and like, I mean, if you want to count that, like he was my ex, but I don't think
it wasn't a big deal.
Yeah, I don't think that's really an ex. Like, I don't have any hard feelings against any of my exes. Like I said, like if I see them, I greet them, you know, hope they're doing well, and I wish them all like happiness and achieve their goals and stuff. But I've never really kept in touch with any of them, except for that one ex from 7th grade that he's now has a family, and we go over to birthday parties and stuff. You know which ex I'm talking about. So
for me, I don't have really I'm not really friends with my exes. But that being said, like I'm not the type of person who would just like, if I saw them in public, I'd walk the other way. I would just still say hi. Like I'm still gonna be the friendly person that I am. And there's no bad blood. Yeah, that's basically it. Last question.
Last question. Who was the pettiest ex? Be truthful.
I'm trying to think, because it's between 2, honestly. It's I used to think maybe it was my last ex, but I actually don't think it was.
Really?
Yeah, I think it was the second girl I dated in high school.
She was the pettiest?
Pretty fucking petty, bro. She was like, what do you call it? A drama queen, prima donna. She just took things to a whole nother level. Like a whole nother level.
Was that like your sophomore year?
Yeah.
I would have to say it was definitely my sophomore year relationship too, that he was the pettiest. And then And it was just the word, because that's like the craziest ex that I had. He's also the pettiest. And
I can already see it.
I'm gonna tell you why he's the pettiest. Like, I would get mad at him for things he would do, and then he'd try to come and throw it at me and make it seem like I was like overreacting, and then he would get mad and stuff, and then my dumbass would try to, like, because I didn't want to fight with him, I would try to talk to him, and he'd be like, no, you hurt my feelings and this, and I'm just like, bro, you're the one that's like doing all this bad stuff, and I'm over here feeling bad, and you're being petty as shit.
Exactly. That's why she would always take whatever it was and throw it back. Like, she would be the one who did the thing wrong, right? And then throw it back on you, making it seem like it was your fault, like all manipulative and stuff. And I'd be like, bro, what the hell? Like, you're bugging, bro. You are bugging. Like, oh man.
But the good thing is that is all in the past. There's no pettiness here. I don't, honestly, to be honest, me and Chris, no, shut up. No, you're not. To be honest, me and Chris are not really petty with each other.
Besides when she steals my food. That's about it.
Oh yeah, Chris does not like when I touch his food or anything. Like,
that's the only thing? That's the only thing. Just food.
We're working on that. But anyways, that is it for today, guys. Thank you for tuning in, and a big thank you to my petty boyfriend for being in this video with me today.
And if you like this video, please go ahead and smash that like button. Please subscribe, and if you would like, go follow Anita Life on Instagram. That'll be in the description below.
Thank you guys again. Peace.